All right, so Tanmit, uh, big reason why I even decided to come and vlog this experience, not only because I find it fascinating and I've been kind of seeing what you're doing on social media and
Yeah.
just, over the past year since like I've known you and we've been friends and stuff, I feel like I've seen you go leap and bounds just so with your company. And, I thought it was super impressive because as a photographer, I work with like a lot of different clothing brands and, shirt brands and graphic tee brands,
Yeah.
but I feel like yours really kind of is ahead of the pack. Like it really stands out as like people who are really killing it, and you have like a really strong following. Now,
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of the subculture that you guys are involved in because it's like
Yeah.
so different than my world. But
Yeah.
do you like? Would you mind like kind of explaining like like the origins of RootsGear and how it is just so like deeply connected and established, and maybe like little how you got to this point?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we were always community based. So like we started with a really strong backing of supporters. Coming from the Sikh faith, originally we were creating apparel that was just specifically for the Sikh community, and that was because we started in like 2004, and that was post 9/11, and there
Wow.
was like a shitload of just fear mongering happening. There's a lot of fear being sold within our Sikh community. People were like, "Hey, you need to be overly patriotic, otherwise you'll get bullied or you'll get harassed or discriminated against or whatever." And our whole thing was just like, fuck that. Like, we're just as American as anybody else. If you don't feel the need to constantly be wearing red, white, and blue, then I don't need to either.
Yeah.
For us, like, the main belief was it's fucking un-American to be overly patriotic. Does that make sense?
That does
It's
make sense.
un-American to buy into this fear and, like, be crazy, like, yes, I love America,
And
like,
so it all started was like the response to like changing the perception of like Sikh culture.
yeah, and the real response to the environment was we're gonna make something that is gonna offset all this fear mongering and is gonna help people connect back to their roots and stay connected to who they are, what they believe in, where their origins are from, where their roots are from. That's why the name came out to be RootsGear, basically. And so coming from that, fast forwarding 10 years, always kind of being loyal to our supporters, really one of the main things, one of the reasons why we've continuously grown, and the reason that
And
we've been able
that's a long time. A 10-year period. That's
Yeah.
a long time for any business. Like
Yeah.
that, like some people start it and they think that it's going to take off in a year or 2 years, but I mean,
Yeah.
10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to have a lot of like belief and just drive it to a point where it's
Yeah.
like,
we just had belief in like what we were doing was dope. It wasn't making us any money for 10 years. It was just something we were doing because we were passionate about it. It was in 2014 when we were like, okay, we need to start making money out of this. Like, how do I make this my life?
yeah, how do I make this like full time?
My full-time thing. Because I was doing accounting. I did accounting for like 7-8 years. I
Wow.
just hated it.
So
I hated it.
so where was like that switch for you where you were like full force, I can do this? Was it like a certain sale that happened? Like what was it that kind of like flipped the switch and you said I can like go?
It was actually an unfortunate event. My brother had moved to New Jersey in 2011 to work on his business, Inkspill. They do custom printing, like printing for businesses, promotional products, business products, things like that, whatever. And he had a partner that was an investor in his business. And that same guy was also a partner in RootsGear, so it was 3 of us. When they had a falling out, he fell out of RootsGear as well. And so that's when, like, at the end of 2013, Tanmit and I were like, all right, like, now's our chance. Let's re-register the company. It's just me and you. We call the shots. We don't have to, like,
You
go
don't have to
around
listen to
taking
someone.
votes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, we don't have to worry about, oh, this person put in money, so we have to listen to them or anything like that. It was really just, I felt 100% in control now. And then this was also the time that we found Shopify. Like, Shopify, honest to God, was like a savior.
I believe in Shopify so much. Like
So
I'm a
much.
photographer and I have my portfolio on Shopify rather than
Dude.
Squarespace because I'm like thinking if I ever need to sell something.
Yes, that's a smart freaking move. That's a very smart move. Because Squarespace just is not as robust. It's just not
But
as...
so in like I'm sure someone else who is doing some sort of similar company, whether it's
Yeah.
a different niche or something that you might give them advice on or whatever it is would be like have creative control. Like you don't want to listen to it, and because if that's what really propels you to the next level is not having to listen to someone else, so you can completely focus on going forward. Yeah,
that combined with just having a vision, a strong vision, and the drive to really accomplish that vision. I see a lot of South Asian inspired brands come up every day. Like literally now, all these kids are growing up. Creating a clothing brand is so easy.
It is so easy.
You sign up for Shopify, you connect it to Printful. You don't have to.
That's literally the hustle. That's literally the hustle. The Shopify, the Printful dropshipping.
You watch 2 YouTube videos on dropshipping, and you're like, "That's it. I'm a fucking millionaire now."
But this isn't dropshipping. I mean, everything is made here for the most part. Besides, like I'm sure the collabs and maybe the more. Things, right?
There's a few things that I do dropship or whatever, but
of course, you got.
Other than that, we use the traditional model. We stock, in house because there's larger profit margins in stocking and selling, basically inventory. But they just don't have the drive. They don't want it bad enough. They don't need it. I need it. Like if I don't sell clothes,
like just so people can get a reference, like how much drive and like dedication, because entrepreneurship gets very lonely and depressing at times.
It sucks, yeah.
Like, what's your take on that? Like, I know it's a lot. I mean. To go from like your house to a warehouse like this takes an enormous amount of confidence. Whether it's like you feel like you're going to grow into it, or it's like we're popping so much that we need to go into some place.
It's all calculated too. For example, we restarted RootsGear in 2014, and for 2 years, I didn't take any big risks. I didn't go get a big warehouse. I didn't go do anything crazy. I didn't leave my job.
You weren't taking vacations either.
I was working 9 to 5, my full-time job, and then 5 to 9 in the weekends I was working on RootsGear. I worked enough so that there would be a salary for me when I left my job. That's calculated. Like drive is good, but you got to make good, thoughtful business decisions too.
You also have to be practical.
Yeah, you have to be very practical. Like, you can't just move into a 2,000 square foot warehouse and not be able to afford the rent.
Yeah, and think business is going to pick up just because you have a warehouse.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. So like we knew that we were coming from 1,000 square foot warehouse already. So we had outgrown it. We were like, okay, now we need to move into a bigger space. One of the reasons we got the bigger space is because what you mentioned, like entrepreneurship gets fucking lonely. So being an entrepreneur, it gets depressing, it gets lonely, you suffer through, I suffered through depression too. I mean, it's something that we all openly talk about now. But the reason for this space is because I need creative energy around me, like you. Like, I need creatives around me, because when you have creatives around you, you're sort of creative energy keeps
it bounces in between and it just magnifies. And I feel you. It's like sure, there's those times, those nights where it's literally just you and you're working on some stuff that no one else wants to do or not even anyone else could do. But then it's like there's also the balance of you're here and everyone's probably here, all your friends are your employees, and it's like this is what I wanted.
Right. Like, that was exactly the point. It's like we want it big enough so that if somebody wants to come study or do homework, or they want to come work on a project, or they want to make videos, or they want to do photography, videography, whatever they want to do, as long as they're creative people or whatever,
you're open,
like they could just come in, hang out. We're here from like 12 to 12, so come in and chill. It's kind of like a mini WeWork.
Yeah, this is Saturday, there's no days off.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I think that was super dope to hear. I wanted to know that personally too. That was really sweet to hear. And I'm super appreciative because a year ago when we first did a lookbook, I was kind of just starting in my career. And since then, I was able to go full time. And you gave me a lot of like really good advice at that time about being practical, but keep working hard at the 9 to 5. And I did that. And so like I'm full time now, but I'll never forget some of those conversations.
No, I definitely appreciated those conversations too, because I had just finished doing that. 2016 was when I left my full time job.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that you just went.
2016 was a crazy year. I just left, and I was like, and ever since then, like 2016 to 17, 17 to 18, we've grown almost 40-50% each year.
Year over year, 40-50%. So what do you think contributes to that? I'm going to wrap it up here, just a couple more things. What do you think contributes to like healthy growth of a modern day clothing company?
It depends on what model you're using. So if you're using the dropship model, for example, these are secrets you're about to learn, about to drop some knowledge bombs. So if you're doing a dropship business, your best way to keep growing exponentially is you have to spend money to make money. As long as your products are dope, it's a numbers game. Put in the fucking money into Facebook and Instagram ads. Just
marketing. That is something
keep
that is
pumping it in.
You can't just build it and they will come. It's build it and you have to tell them about it.
Exactly.
Like people always confuse that
Yeah.
you need to market, and Facebook and Instagram ads
Yeah.
I think are just as good. And so what else?
Anybody that thinks Facebook is not relevant anymore is lying to themselves.
You're
It's
not in
stupid.
it. You're not in the trenches doing it.
It works. It 100% works. Facebook and Instagram ads. So if you don't have inventory and you're like, oh, I got away with investing zero money into this business, it's a dropship
And
business.
it's actually working.
You actually need money now to invest into the ads. That's where your money should be going. That's the whole model. People miss that whole aspect of it. They figure out that, oh, I can start a brand without investing any money, but they forget that the investment.
They forget
is
the
in
most important
ads.
part, because it's not just an Instagram post or your hashtag game.
Yeah.
Like that's good and you should be doing that, but
Yeah.
that's not going to grow you into a warehouse. That's not going to get you out of your mom's house. Like
yeah.
that is just, a small aspect.
Yeah, the posts are shit. Like organic posts don't get you much reach. So either you work with influencers. I think it's a mix. You got to work with influencers, send out a bunch of free shit,
It's smart marketing, yeah.
and then basically just dump money into ads. If you're like us, working in the traditional model, what's been working lately is basically the Supreme model. So now we drop small collections. We drop a lot more of them throughout the year, but we drop them in limited quantities. And as soon as they run out, we get rid of it. We never bring it back.
But do you work hard through the ads to build hype for that?
No, we don't have to.
You don't even have to.
We haven't been spending much on ads. Like our stuff has been growing because
You gotten to a point where like it's like its own machine at this point.
right. I mean, we do spend a lot of money on ads in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we spend majority of our money. So yeah, that's those are the two models for growth.
Dude,
really.
those are some
If you-
serious knowledge drops. I
Yeah.
hope you're taking notes.
Yeah, those are two really big models that you need to know. So if you're drop shipping ads, if you're doing the traditional stock inventory model, really don't drown yourselves in inventory. Like some people take this risk where they're like,
So
I'm gonna go to China, but they're gonna make me make 100,
So
500
you're saying
pieces.
you're saying it's better to have the sales and then figure it out rather than have everything and then try to make the sales.
Right, exactly.
And so,
Yeah.
just to wrap it up, what's coming up for RootsGear that you can talk about? Which people we looking forward to?
yeah.
I know we saw some of the pieces, but just
Oh, I'll show you a lot more. There's a ton of new stuff.
you guys might not see that.
The biggest thing, the change that's happening this year is we are officially gonna start marketing ourselves as the dopest marketplace for South Asian inspired
We've been
streetwear.
talking about that. I
Yeah.
remember that.
So that basically means that we're not just carrying. We already do this, but we're not just carrying our own brand, our own products. We're carrying other dope brands, other really cool artists, like whether they're music artists or they're
Anyone who
and
wants
graphic artists or designers or
Yeah.
painters, whatever they are, we're working with a lot of them because, like I said, not everyone has the capital or the resources to create
the reach,
merch,
or the reach.
yeah. So like like I said, we came from roots being in our community, and that's exactly what we're trying to take forward. Is we want to build a network of artists, musicians, celebrities, YouTubers, whatever, everybody that wants to sell really cool South Asian inspired streetwear. It should be at RootsGear, right?
Heck yeah.
And that's the goal.
That's dope.
So that's the main thing that's happening this year.
That's
so you're
sick,
gonna
man.
see a lot of that.
I look forward to that.
There's a lot of partnerships coming. We just partnered with. We're doing merch for a R&B duo that just released 3 tracks on Wiz Khalifa's new album that came out yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're called the Moonlight. I'll put the
Yeah, I'll drop that. Get all that
the
information.
Moonlight.
The Moonlight.
Yeah, so these got 2 kids, identical twins, Indian twins, identical
Dude,
from
that's
the
sick.
Bay Area. Crazy, amazing talent.
Cool,
And so we
cool.
just launched their merch as well. So,
Sweet. Well,
yeah.
dude, that was seriously blew my mind, and I'm
Yeah.
sure people out there probably blew their mind. So, dude,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna get some dope
You're welcome.
B-roll for this video.
Yes.
And then we're gonna actually talk business.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man.
Hey, Beta.